So the other day, this new game dropped on Steam. Sure, it just looks like another bootleg Call of Duty, and apparently that's what all the reviews thought too, but it was 1 gig, so I decided to download it anyway. And for about the first 3 games, I was pretty much inclined to agree. The menus, the gameplay, the animations, it was all very clearly drawing inspiration from Modern Warfare. But it was on the 4th game that I discovered this game's little secret. I think I'm in love. Once you get a handle of this game's movement, it ends up playing a lot like an old school arena shooter. Because you see, if I just double tap space, the second input is buffered and then immediately triggers as soon as I hit the ground again. So I can basically just mash space without any downsides. Another big piece of this puzzle is the slide canceling. And then of course there's vaulting. In the old days, vaulting over a piece of cover was a 3-stage affair. You go up, you go over, you go down. More modern games have cut out the down again, so you just kind of float over the cover. This game is just over. No up, no nothing. It is so fast, and there's basically no delay before you can vault again. The result is, as long as it's below chest height, you can instantly vault it, which makes it so running up the stairs looks a bit more like speedrunning in Mario 64. All this together allows you to fly across the map at Mach 5 at all times. This is of course besides the zipline boosts, the near perfect accuracy while hip firing. All in all, it's surprisingly fluid and almost like it was well thought out and carefully designed. But the weird thing is, I know for a fact that it wasn't designed for this. You see, this game is a mobile port, and a quick search on YouTube reveals that even the game's most devout fans play the game like it's just Call of Duty. Probably because touch controls aren't really conducive to this style of gameplay. But as soon as you put it on PC, suddenly you can be pressing 5 or 6 buttons at once and, well, now the gameplay is more like this. But this scares me, because now there's a very real possibility that the developers are just going to, quote-unquote, fix this game. Cut out all of this advanced movement tech to bring it more in line with touch controls. After all, this is a full cross-play update. So you will literally have people on cell phones trying to compete with this. And I understand the problem here, but I would implore the developers to please just take a moment to consider. I would have probably stopped playing the game by now, and would not have recommended it to all of my friends, and basically everyone I know, because if not for these mechanics, it's just another mobile port. But then of course there is very much a precedent for developers removing the one thing that makes their game unique in an effort to level the playing field. I get it, but just consider what we've lost. Look at Apex Legends, look at Call of Duty, look at Fortnite, look at Assassin's Creed, From my perspective, this looks like a golden opportunity. A real pot of gold that has been placed in the laps of these developers. And how they handle it will determine whether or not this game becomes a cult hit or if it's just forgotten. I would strongly suggest to the developers that in order to double down on this and make the most of it, the first thing they should do is build out their custom game system. That's right, this game actually has custom games with bot support. Yeah, this game is really freaking cool. But if they were able to expand on this with increased control over rule sets, time to kill, weapon selection, that way the admins can ban any problematic weapons and build the game to more fully suit this playstyle. One of this game's biggest problems right now, as with all shooters these days, is with cheaters. And if you can't afford a really good anti-cheat solution, the next best thing is allowing for community-hosted servers. The community is then able to whitelist or blacklist certain players in order to maintain the integrity of the server. This would allow for a proper community to develop, players actually getting to know each other and developing relationships. That's how games like Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat are still played 10 plus years later. And if you can swing for it, custom maps would be huge. Now, of course, people recommend this all the time for all kinds of different games, but I think for this game, it would be uniquely beneficial because with these movement mechanics, the ability for the community to custom build maps that are specifically designed for these movement systems could be a game changer. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next big surf is hidden somewhere in this game's DNA, and the community is the only thing that's going to be able to drag that out. There's already a bunch of little quirks in these maps that have demonstrated just how far you could go with some purpose-built maps. And again, if you're already having a cheater problem, it shouldn't be that scary to hand over the keys to the community. But honestly, the reality is the developers aren't going to see this. The developers don't care. The developers are most likely just going to fix the game, nerf this movement, and the game will be forgettable again. But I wanted to make this video before that happened because I have to recommend that everyone watching this video, the game is 1 gigabyte. Download it, try it, and see for yourself just how crazy this is. Show the developers that this is why the game is worth playing. You don't even have to deal with the public matchmaking. Just make a custom game, play against bots, or play against your friends. This has instantly become my favorite LAN party game, and I bet it could be yours too. So I guess if nothing else, this has reinforced my habit of wandering around Steam downloading random games. Because you never know when you'll chance upon the next diamond in the rough, something that so many people have passed over, and finding your next favorite game. I just hope it can stay that way. Anyway, thanks for watching.